All right. Is 8 being raised to the third power, x being raised to the third power, or the product of 8 and x being raised to the third power? Who votes just 8? Who votes just x? Who votes the product of them? I think we'd agree. So isn't this saying 8x times 8x times 8x? There's 3 factors of 8x. Everybody agree?
Yes.
Now, when there's nothing written between them, it's assumed to be multiplication. Because it's multiplication, I can do it in any order. What's 8 times 8 times 8? Everybody should have the calculator out. And then x times x times x. 25.
24.
We're off by it. Interesting. Interesting. I'm hearing 512 a lot.
Oh, but then times 1.
Isn't this 8 times 8 times 8? 8 times 8 is already 64. 64 times another 8 is 512. You confused or good? What's x times x times x?
Negative positive.
We cannot move on until we are masters of this. You don't understand the lesson unless you can understand what this is. Okay? And if you ever forget, go through the different operations. What's x plus x plus x? That's 3x. Do you agree?
Yes.
X times x times x cannot be 3x. Do you agree? Did you just do 8 plus 8 plus 8? No, you did 8 times 8 times 8.
Yes.
That was 8 to the third power. X times x times x is x to the third power. Do you all agree it's 512 x to the third power? Are you confused or good? Let's make a quick little rule for this. If you raise a product 8 times x to the third power, both are being raised to the third power, then you can simplify it by raising each to the third power. Do you see it? Do you agree? Matthew.
So yeah. So does so if you have a parentheses in, does it mean you just multiply 8 by itself 3 times?
Yep.
Or just
Yep. What's this telling you to do? Matthew.
Would it be 8x times 8x times 8x?
That's this.
Plus 8 plus 8 plus 8.
Where do you see that from?
That since no parentheses around the 8 things.
Tell me what is happening here. Order of operations. X is being by itself 3 times, which that's just x to the third, right? And then that gets multiplied times 8. Order of operations, right? Parentheses first, then multiplication. Yes?
Yes.
Is this good as it is, or can I write something else in simpler form? Or are you not sure? It's okay to say I'm not sure.
I'm not sure.
I think it's good.
That one's good as is, okay? X to the third power is just x to the third power. It's done. Times 8. Can I combine those terms? No. So it's done. 8x to the third power is not the same as 8x to the third power. That is 8x times 8x times 8x. Okay? Does that make sense? All right. So the power of a product, this is confusing, but it might make sense. The power of a product is the product of the bases raised to the powers. So watch up here before you write anything down. 8x to the third was 8 to the third times x to the third, wasn't it? We realized that. A times b to the n is a to the n times b to the n. That's it. You can raise each one to that exponent. Only if it's a product. If it's addition or subtraction, we'll have to talk about that later. All right? We'll save that for later. This is only if it is a product. So go ahead and solve this one real quick. What's 2h to the fourth power on your own? 2h to the fourth power. Or is it good as it is? Everybody. It's an all ski. All right, what'd you get? Haley, what'd you get? 8h to the fourth power. How many of you got 8h to the fourth power? Okay, what's the rule? If products raised to a power, you can raise. Bailey, help me out. Yeah. So 2 to the fourth times h to the fourth.
That was nice
That
job.
was the highlight of my day. All right. What's 2 to the fourth?
16.
See, you're good. 16. So this is 16. What's h to the fourth? H to the fourth, right? That's it.
What's 16h to the fourth?
16.
Nailed it.
Yes.
Nailed it.
Like my shoes? Actually really comfy. Very light though.
My little guy, my son, when he was little, like he was like 2 years old, he'd say nailed it, but instead of he'd say nailed it.
I mailed it.
We didn't read the joke of the day.
And it's not appropriate.
Did we do it yesterday?
Probably.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
it was the
Maroon one. There were 3 of them. Yesterday, right?
That's so sad.
Oh my.
All right. Order of operations. Order of operations. What shall be done first, and then what shall be done last? Zachary.
you do the product practically, but there isn't a product, so it'd just be 2.
There isn't a product.
Well, it'd just be 2y,
2 times y is a product. Yep.
and then you do the exponent. So 2 to the second power and y to the second power.
What do I do with that negative?
You keep it.
Out front. So 2 to the second times y to the second is. Okay.
4 times y is that?
Good. And then
Times -1.
times -1 makes it.
-4 times -y. The second.
That happens a lot. Okay. When do we distribute?
Parentheses.
But not just when there's parentheses. There's more to it. Let's flash back. Ooh. Flash back. Remember we did solving systems? And we multiplied a whole thing times a number? We distributed that number, didn't we? What's the first thing this got distributed to? 2x. Do you agree? It was -3 times 2x. Yes? Then -3 times -8y. And then -3 times 26. Yes? What's -3 times 2x? -6x plus 24y equals -78. All right? Now, question. Why didn't you multiply -3 times 2 and then -3 times x? You didn't distribute it to both of those, did you? So why would you here? When do you distribute? When terms are separated by subtraction,
Or
addition,
Not
not multiplication. So it's not about the parentheses really. It's about the operation. All right. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
You just didn't do it here. You didn't do negative 3 times 2, negative 3 times x, because 2x was a term, right? 4y squared is a term, so this whole term gets multiplied by negative 1, and it's just negative 4y squared. Does that make any sense? All right, that's the simplest form. Now try this guy. Oh. Some Minecraft villagers in here. Huh. 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 Huh.
That's what they sound like.
They go. When do they go? Huh?
When you hit
I haven't
them,
played
Yeah,
it.
when you, when you hit them.
they're like.
I just hear
They
it.
sound like
I never heard that one. I don't play it, but my boys play it in the backseat of my car. And I always hear, huh? Huh.
The other cops
There we
are
go.
like,
Oh yeah.
What is this Minecraft
Mining.
now?
Is that mining
Digging
sand?
stuff. Yeah.
Oh.
That'd be a good game.
Make some glass.
Name that crafting action.
It's definitely
What's
it's probably like a website to look up.
That's walking.
No, that is-
That's walking on like dirt and stuff.
Yeah.
I've never played one of those games.
That's why you know that. You know that is
The what?
down there.
All right.
What's
What's
another
it?
animal?
A bow and arrow.
Yeah, what did you say? What time?
Oh, if you
It like makes a ding when you hit someone.
All right. If we use the rule, do you agree both of these terms get raised to a power of 2? What's the first term that gets raised to a power of 2? Negative 2. Parentheses or no parentheses?
No breath.
Is it like this? Or like this?
Parentheses.
No.
No. The left one.
First.
Who votes the first one? Now, if you vote that, what's 2 squared times a negative 1?
-4.
Negative 4. Do you agree?
Y.
What's this one? Positive 4, y squared. Can I tell you a way to check your answer?
Yes.
What's this telling you to do? Take negative 2y and multiply it by
Times.
itself, right? So there's 2 factors of it. Isn't another way we could solve this the long way? Negative 2y times negative 2y.
Which is positive, so it's-
Yes? Which is negative 2 times y times negative 2 times y. Which is positive 4y squared. Not negative 4y squared. Because this tells you to square the negative 2, right? Raise negative 2 to the second power. Not 2 to the second power and then negative. Do you agree? Yes. Yes. 4y squared. I'm telling you what, these are tricky if you're not careful.
Real tricky.
Oh my goodness.
I don't like these.
You just got to do one little chunk at a time.
Do we have to take a quiz over this?
trying to think of a joke.
Take a
for that.
quiz? No,
I can't think of it.
Wait, did you add?
no, you'll never be quizzed over.
If you guys can get this one,
So
if we can get through this one, I got a joke ready for you guys.
I didn't even say I didn't get these one.
Alright, let's get to this one, guys.
All right, let's set it up together. Is this the product of 2 terms rule?
Yeah.
Yeah. So raise each one to the second power. So raising x to the 6th to the second power and y to the negative 3rd to the second power and multiplying them. See it.
You guys have a good day too.
Bye.
Do you agree?
So,
Okay. Break it down. This first term, freeze what you're doing and look up here. You can remember this two ways. One is when you raise a power to a power, you do what with those exponents? Multiply. I know this is going to be x to the 12th, right? Yes? If you don't get it that way, break it down into, no, freeze, 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 freeze. Hold on. The other way to think of it is, isn't this telling us to multiply x to the 6th times x to the 6th?
Yes.
X to the 6th. X to the 6th
Yes.
times
There we go.
that's x to the
6.
12.
that's x to the 12th.
12.
Yes.
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 This one is saying take y to the negative third and square it. So y to the negative third times y to the negative third. That's y to the negative. That's y to the negative 6. Yes. This okay.
Yeah.
Y to the negative third. Isn't it y to the negative 1 times y to the negative 1 times y to the negative 1? Isn't y to the positive third y times y times y? Isn't y to the negative third y to the negative 1 times y to the negative 1 times y to the negative 1? Do you agree? And I would do that again. I would have y to the negative 6. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Now, because I have a negative exponent, something has to move. And it's okay, because I like to move it. I just watched that. All three. I don't know. My kids watched it, but whatever. It's good. They're good movies.
But you watch it one time.
Like Cassie and Kingley. I don't want to say more.
What does the y to the negative 6 have to do? Move to the bottom and become positive 6. And then ask yourself, can those reduce?
Yeah.
No, they have different bases, x's and y's. You can't combine those. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. It's on the side of my desk. Oh, you're welcome. Everybody good with that?
Yes.
Last one. I'm working on it while you guys work on this.
So were you already expecting us
It's a
to
Star
not
Wars
pick
one.
anytime?
Oh.
And then if Paradise can get down.
How did Darth Vader know what Luke got him for Father's Day? He felt his presence.
That's horrible.
That is a solid joke right there.
That's so bad.
I think the best one was the
Did it seem a little forced?
My dad understood the
ha.
50 cent in the Nickelback one.
Huh?
I asked my dad I told him the joke
Yeah.
about the Nickelback and
Yeah.
stuff, and he understood. what
Of
he
course.
said.
50 Cent and Nickelback, that'd probably be.
Yeah, I just told him like what concert costs 45
Oh,
cents.
yeah.
And he's like, oh, they go back at 50 cents. I'm like, what? That's supposed to understand.
I mean, it's pretty.
Everybody set it up like this.
Yeah.
What's negative 5 squared? Oh no! Negative 5 times negative 5.
25.
Positive 25. What's t squared? Squared. T to the 4th.
4.
There's your answer.
You're so good at this.
You guys need practice.
Yeah.
You're talking about practice?
I feel money a lot of practice.
You need practice.
Do lessons after school.
All right, tonight's practice.
$20 an hour for us to go.
That's embarrassing.
No homework?
Well, it's up there.
Oh, I see it. 10 through 28 even. And 34 off.
Let me double check it.
What?
It's a lot of problems.
Wait, what's today?
Tuesday.
Oh my goodness.
No way.
Let's just get it done.
We don't have school Friday.
That's also why. We don't score Friday, so it's being us to actual work.
Make sure you note 34 through 40 is even. I say we should there. And you can skip 30. You can skip 52. I'm gonna get rid of 52. That's embarrassing.
And I gotta walk around with this script in my hand.
Have a wonderful day.